Recently, I've been chatting online with some pastors in Eswatini about shepherding. They've asked me to do that. And one of the passages we looked at was Psalm 23. And Psalm 23 has just continued to cultivate in my heart. Let me just read that. It's, of course, a Psalm of David, who says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord forever." As I shared from this psalm with these pastors, I figured they would make an application to, well, as shepherds, we should shepherd the way Jesus shepherds. And there's a sense in which that's true, to shepherd people with Jesus's heart. But there's also a real sense in which I can't shepherd the way Jesus does. I can't restore people's souls. I can't be with them in every valley of deep darkness all the time with them. I can't make their cup overflow. I can't make sure goodness and mercy is following them all the days of their life. There's just so much I cannot do. And that's the point, isn't it? We need Jesus as our shepherd. And we took out of that conversation the fact that the best way I can shepherd people is to shepherd them to Jesus, to be shepherded by Jesus, because he's the only one who can do these things for them. And as thought through the psalm, the end of verse 3, he leads. The middle of verse 3, he leads. And in that parallel, right in the middle, is he restores my soul. He restores my soul sometimes with green pastures and still waters to refresh me and encourage and revive me. But he also restores my soul in paths of righteousness. Sometimes I'm like David in a wilderness and I need green pastures and still waters. Sometimes I'm a straying sheep and I need to be restored and brought back to paths of righteousness. And he does that for his name's sake. He is restoring our soul. But sometimes those right paths he takes us down go through valleys of deep darkness. Sometimes those right paths lead through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear those things. And yet he is with me. And he remains with me, and with his rod and staff, I find comfort in his presence against the fear. But along those paths, he's not the only one present. There's also the presence of enemies. And when enemies are present, usually there are rations or there is a famine because the enemies are besieging. But with the Lord as my shepherd, he spreads a table. He makes my cup overflow. And he makes sure his goodness and mercy follow me all the days of my life, no matter what enemies are present, no matter what deep, dark valleys he's leading me through. And he does that all the way to dwell in his house forever. It's interesting. The Lord is my shepherd. At the beginning and at the end, I'm dwelling in his house forever. Normally, sheep are taken eventually to slaughter, not to dwell in the shepherd's house. But this is a different kind of shepherd. Here is a shepherd who's caring for us, and he is leading us out in front of us, and then in the dark valleys, he is with us, next to us, and then all the days of our life, he is behind us with his goodness and mercy, bringing us all the way home. And for us, as shepherds, as his servants, to actively seek his shepherding in our lives is the best thing we can do in shepherding others.